Hello everybody, this is Stormhawk152 from DeFclan Gaming, and today I'm going to be doing kind of a web show podcast type audio recording. I don't know if I'm going to have any video on it, but I don't think I am. It's just going to be me kind of talking podcast style. So yes, anyway, the deal is I'm not going to be getting my video camera for another month, and I wanted to go ahead and talk to you guys about some stuff, and my internet's down, so I can't, just do like a gameplay commentary on some online footage and just make it about the commentary and not the gameplay, because my internet is down. And the reason I do my Let's Plays and playthroughs without commentary is because that I like to, for you and for me, to just enjoy the story and not have my voice be a distraction. But anyway, so I'm going to be talking about some stuff that we're going to be doing in the future. Going to be talking about some movies, so if you are, I'm going to let you know right before I say it if there's going to be a spoiler, but I might go into some spoilers of some movies, spoil my review scores for some movies, but the reviews won't be out until the future when I have my video camera. So yes. Starting off, like I said, we have my camera in a month. I'm planning on doing some Rock Band videos with, I'm going to have my tripod set up so I'm videoing me actually doing it, and then having my Roxy record the actual track coming down the screen, have them both on at once, so you can see both of that, and that'll be pretty cool. You can see some of those on YouTube already, and I think it's a good idea, one that I want to try. Lots of movie reviews with my video camera. Video reviews of, like movies, movie reviews, DVD reviews, Blu-ray reviews, basically anything. I think most of my video game reviews are going to have all gameplay in the background, so, except for maybe an intro, but I might use video cam for that too. Updates, if there's any thing that I want to tell you guys, I'll probably use my video camera for it, or I can just do a web podcast thing like this. So, moving on. If you have not seen the Minecraft videos from DeFclan yet, you should really check them out. They're a lot of fun. I don't know when he's posting it to the clan channel, that and some of his old Battlefield videos, but he needs to post that to the channel that you're watching today. And in the meantime, I'll be trying to post as much of my playthroughs as I can. I've said it once, I'll say it again. I have hours upon hours and hours, like 20-something hours, I think now, and going of footage, maybe 30. Since I got my 140 140 hour expansion drive. It's a 2 terabyte expansion drive. I loved it. If you want to start recording videos or playthroughs, if you're trying to record like full games, the 5 hours that come on the standard Roxio and on your PC are not enough. You need an expansion drive. It's been a great help. I love it. It's great. Sony Vegas Movie Studio is perfect. I'm really proficient with it now, and it's really helpful, and you can get it for really cheap now. I saw it for like $30. I paid about $60. I think it started about $130, but I think probably the best combination would be Adobe After Effects, which I don't have yet. I'm probably going to get it, sometime in the future. I'm going to have to save up a lot of money for it because it's so expensive. But anyway, Adobe After Effects is a compositor and Vegas is an editor. So, but the one thing that Sony Vegas Pro has that Movie Studio really doesn't is masking. But that's something that a compositor does. Like Adobe After Effects has masking. So I think just pay $30 for Movie Studio and then get After Effects and save yourself a ton of money. And that's my opinion. So now on to some of the movie stuff I was saying that I would talk about. I saw Dark Knight Rises on the opening day, and it is one of the best movies I've ever seen. We throw around hyperboles a lot, and I say, if I love a movie, I'll kind of exaggerate, words, because, I love it. It was a great movie. I had a lot of fun with it. But, I mean, this truly is the most complete trilogy I have ever watched. All the loose ends are tied up. Every single thing that might have left you wondering, even the stuff that didn't leave you wondering, everything goes back full circle. 180 from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie, full circle. From Batman Begins to Dark Knight Rises, full circle. There's all sorts of themes and messages. It's just a really, really deep, satisfying movie. So if you haven't guessed, I'll give you my full review later when I get my video camera. But I'm just going to go ahead and tell you 5 stars. It was perfect. I mean, as close to perfect as a movie can get. I mean, that's what people said about The Dark Knight, and Heath Ledger's performance in The Dark Knight was amazing, and I love every single installment in the series, but Dark Knight Rises is just special to me in lots of ways. I loved the plotting, I loved the character development. There's just so many references that I might talk about in a spoiler-full discussion later. I saw Chris Duckman do that, and I thought it was a great idea, so I might try it. But what was I going to say? Oh, yes, villains. I love the villain choice for this movie because Catwoman, even though she really isn't a villain, you know, that's just kind of her stereotype. But I love the character of Catwoman. I think she's my favorite Batman. I was going to say villain, but I'll just say Batman character, period. Because, like, you know, Batman is as much of Bruce Wayne as he is Batman. And, you know, most of the other villains, as cool as they are just kind of one-faced. They're only that villain. But Catwoman is as much Selena Kyle as she is Catwoman. It's kind of like the female alter ego Batman, like going out in the middle of the night and just doing what she wants. Especially in the animated series. I watched lots of the animated series episodes with Catwoman. To be honest, it's pretty close to Dark Knight Rises. Because you know, she's against him at points, but at the same time, even when she is against him, they still are kind of, you know, exchanging banter. I don't know, they're flirting. But I just love the complexity of the character. I loved Anne Hathaway's portrayal of it. I couldn't see her as a Catwoman when I first heard about it, but I like Anne Hathaway, and I was curious to see what they do with it, and it was great. I love the fact that they actually made her human and a cat burglar, like actual human personality that we can relate to, instead of making her some weird psychotic person, deranged, who thinks she's a cat and licks herself. No. I mean, she's a cat burglar. She has a suit that helps her steal stuff, and she has a really character that makes sense. You know, she's not just stealing from everyone and killing people. She just, like, for fun, she is stealing from the rich and just trying to make it by. And even though she's not always portrayed so well, because that I'm only going to mention this once, but if you ever saw the Halle Berry Catwoman, 1, I feel sorry for you, and 2, that's not Catwoman. Don't even try to think that's Catwoman. I mean, that is not anything like Catwoman. That is, no. Just, no. Okay? I mean, you know it's bad when you get a 3 out of 10 on IMDb. Yeah, it was terrible. I mean, they messed up the costume, they messed up everything. Catwoman can, I mean, she's good enough to have her own movie, but that's not the way you do it. They just made her just some deranged person who wears a sexy outfit and fights people every once in a while. That was pretty much the description of that movie. I mean, there was just no character development. There was no anything that was anything what the character deserved. It was, I mean, I haven't even seen it, and I do not want to. You might think I'm just biased because I haven't seen it and I'm bashing it, but you can watch anything, watch a trailer, and know that movie was bad. So, yes. So stay away from the Halle Berry Catwoman. It is not Catwoman at all. Along the same lines, but kind of a different one for me. Like, the 60s Batman, everyone loves if you grew up in that kind of time period. But then, on the other hand, everybody loves how dark the Nolan ones are, and they don't like the unrealism of, and just like the whimsicalness of, the Joel Schumacher Batmans and the 60s Batman. But the 60s Batman, you just have to think of it differently. Like, it was a lot of fun, cheesy, fun, family friendly. I love the movie. I've seen it a billion times. But it's not Batman. Like, it's not a bad thing in that case because it wasn't meant to. It's meant to just be a fun, cheesy superhero. But, the villains are the same. Batman is, Batman, but it's all about crazy gadgets and just by the way the Batmobile looks. It's not meant to be that realistic, dark thing that you come to expect from the comics or the Nolan films. And like I said, for that case, it wasn't really a bad thing because it wasn't meant to. And I love the 60s one. I'm not sure. I might give a review of it, but I don't think I can really give it a score because it's kind of like, from quality standpoint, I don't know what I'd give it, but I just enjoy it a lot, and I've seen it so much, I want to give it a high score. Batman and Robin, everyone thinks is a complete disaster, failure, meant to sell toys. And, I can agree with that. It wasn't that great quality at all. A lot of things went wrong with it. Very, very, very cheesy. Everyone hates George Clooney as Batman. On the other hand, I didn't mind it, to be honest. Once again, George Clooney did not play Batman the way Batman should be played, but he played the whimsical superhero just fine, like when he says, hey Freeze, I'm Batman. It wasn't meant to be the dark, brooding, I'm Batman of the other movies. It was if George Clooney decided to put on a bat suit at night and fight Arnold Schwarzenegger with dumb one-liners. Yeah, they really was the writing that failed there. Arnold Schwarzenegger's been great villains, but he just failed as Mr. Freeze. But, he kind of had the look, I guess. Like, they just used villains that I liked. And, there aren't any other movies with Mr. Freeze or Poison Ivy but Bane, just failure in that movie. Like, seeing Bane in Dark Knight Rises and then looking back on him just, like, carrying around, like, the biggest thing he does is get pumped with venom and then pick up heavy stuff and go, BOOM! Like, that's all he does. Whole thing. No. Yeah. But, so Bane I wasn't impressed with. Mr. Freeze, lots of one-liners, very, very cheesy. But, I like Chris O'Donnell from NCIS LA. George Clooney's George Clooney. There's nothing you can do about that. You can't really complain about Uma Thurman. Like, even if the acting wasn't great at all, there's just not much you can say bad there. So, yeah, like, on a quality rating, once again, like, maybe C, D minus, D, kind of relative. But I was just entertained by it. I don't know why, but I just, when I was younger and, I was too young for any of the Burton Batmans or anything like that, that was kind of the one I saw. And, watching it, like watching clips and stuff from it now, it wasn't a great movie by movie standards, but, you got some entertainment out of it, especially if you're looking for a Batman the whole family can watch. 60s Batman and Batman and Robin. Batman Forever really didn't have anything in it either. Jim Carrey always plays psychotic really, really well. Yeah, because he's Jim Carrey. You know why I can do a podcast about Batman movies? Because I'm Batman. I just had to do that. I've always wanted to say that. Alright. So, getting off of Batman, let's see, what else do I want to talk about? Man of Steel. I am so excited for Man of Steel. Zack Snyder, who did 300 and Watchmen, directing, is very, very exciting. You have Christopher Nolan producing, so I'm hoping, and by the look of the trailer, just, like the way the new Superman costume looks, all the way down to, like, minute details like that, like the way he flies, the way the camera angles go, it just looks like it has a more realistic, down-to-earth feel than the more kind of, once again, the more whimsical superhero Superman. It's just more, it looks like it has a Christopher Nolan touch to it. Zack Snyder can do dark. I mean, think about Watchmen. And, Nolan had great success with the Dark Knight trilogy. And I'm hoping they can do the same thing to Superman. And I'm hoping it actually has a video game that doesn't suck. Yeah, a Superman game that you can actually play for more than an hour at a time without wanting to burn your eyeballs out. I mean, really, they need a good Superman game. Come on. I mean, how long has Superman been out and you haven't made one good game for him? Like, I mean, Spider-Man hasn't had, the best games, like, consistently. But there's some really, really fun Spider-Man games. Batman has the best games, the best movies, the best toys. What is it with Batman? I mean, he has the best everything. The best animated series in history. The best, movies. It's just crazy. But, Superman deserves the same thing. Yes, he does. And I'm looking forward to Amy Adams as Lois Lane. I think she's good for the role. Amy Adams is good at, kind of the one-dimensional, bubbly romance kind of parts, and that's pretty much what Lois Lane is. I'm glad that they, or I'm not going to say I'm glad, I'm just saying they're probably going to take out the smoking, because, they don't want to encourage children to smoke or something. Which is, you shouldn't encourage children to smoke. Smoking's bad for you and your lungs. I went to a church student conference, and this guy was hilarious. It's like, because this guy was smoking in his congregation, it's like, well, Rich, smoking isn't unchristian. And he's like, well, no, but you'll go to heaven a lot faster than I will. So, yeah, smoking is bad for you. Moving on. So, smoking is bad for you. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, the original Superman, Lois Lane, all she did was, like, ask a reporter questions, smoke, and get in trouble. Same thing with, like, the new one. She didn't really smoke in Superman Returns. I mean, of course, the one plane that she enters is going to be, nearly crashed. It's like, trouble just follows her. Superman should just stay away from her. She's bad news. Or I guess it could be him. Bad news for her. Either way. So this podcast has already gone about 18 minutes and 40 seconds. And I don't know how long you guys are actually going to be listening to me. So I guess I'm going to wrap this one up. I am looking forward to Man of Steel a lot. As you can maybe tell. I haven't talked about it enough for you to really tell. But anyway, I could talk on for hours and hours, but it's been 19 minutes, and I think I'm going to let you guys go. So I will see you next time. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment if you enjoyed this, or like movie reviews, or if you watch any of other videos. I know I have a lot of people that have added me as contacts, and I appreciate that a lot. But I would also, you don't have to, if you're my contact, you don't have to subscribe. I'm not trying to pressure you at all, but the support would be great. And it's free. It only takes a click. Just, if you feel comfortable doing that, if it's in your policy, it'd be a great help. And thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next time. Stormhawk152 signing out. Because I'm Batman.